Alright everybody, this video is going to be very similar to the lodge. It's just going to be going through the vendors instead of the lodge itself. So up at the top there you'll see again there's a tab. It's going to be labeled city. This is where you go to find all of your vendors. And we're going to start with the alchemist. Alright, so the alchemist is going to sell you various potions and alchemy related materials. It's also going to have some rogue tools that they occasionally sell. What you can craft here is going to be all the different kinds of potions that you could possibly use throughout the game. The armorer is going to sell it'll sell basic material, copper ore, as you get to a higher rep level, but it's going to sell various pieces of armor at different tier levels for every class in the game. As you upgrade its tier level, you'll be able to buy more and craft more, but essentially what this is going to be for is so that you can just constantly keep crafting whites. If you die, you can craft another white set, you can craft another white set, and then there's also going to be an upgrade tab. This is where you're going to go so that you can upgrade all of your gear from white to green to blue to purple, and then to legendary. The next vendor is going to be the enchantress. She's going to sell various gems, priest and hunter tools, and then transmutation materials and recipes. She's also going to be able to craft rings and gems. And then you'll notice here she's also got a tab for gems. So to go in here, you would just be able to. This is where you would go so that you can insert gems into your items as you upgrade them. And then there's a disenchant tab. This is super helpful because as you get gear you don't necessarily need, say you main a warrior, you're going to get a lot of gear that's not for a warrior. Doesn't necessarily mean it's useless, doesn't mean you have to play the other classes, but you can disenchant those pieces of gear for raw material that you can then use to upgrade other stuff or make other stuff that you need throughout the game. So the tailor is going to sell cloth and leather related materials, also bandages and backpacks. And then in the crafting section for this vendor, you're going to be able to craft the bandages, you're going to be able to craft backpacks, soul pouches, tool belts, and also class-specific tool belts. Alright, so the tavern maid, here she's going to be selling you different things such as critter chow, some chopped wood if you need that for your fireplace, and then also various different kinds of food. Now the fun thing about the tavern maid is that she's where you go to craft the highest level tier of food that you're going to need to be more competitive at a higher end. Now the treasurer is one of the bigger ones. So the treasurer uses a currency called glint, which is what you get for selling treasure. You can sell your treasure to the treasurer to get glint. So the treasurer sells various mystery related things, including favors and glint dust. Otherwise, all of the other items that you can buy from it are just mystery bags or weapons or class specific things. Now on the pawn shop, you can't see it on mine, unfortunately. When you die, if your equipment is not taken, you can get it back in the pawn shop. And then the last thing is in the barter tab at the top is how you can exchange some lodge upgrade items for other lodge upgrade items. And then you can also exchange a bunch of them for higher tier level lodge upgrade items, and so on and so forth. Now the next vendor is going to be the weaponsmith. This is very similar to the armor smith and the tailor, where you can buy class specific weapons, and then you can also buy some blogs and craft some stuff out of it. But then in your crafting tab, you can make the different kinds of wood you're going to need to craft boxes and whatnot. And you can craft all the different kinds of weapons for every class. And then in the upgrade tab is where you go, same as the armor, where you go to upgrade to higher tiers with your weapons. I will also note that the weaponsmith will sell you any weapon or any class at a junk tier level so that you can just try out the different weapons. So if you wanted to try out the different weapons and just run into Goldbrook with them real quick just to see how they feel to you, you can do that. Alright, so you'll notice on each of these pictures of all of the vendors there's a number at the top, and that is going to be their reputation level. Your reputation level goes up to level 6 as a max, but it'll show at level 7. I don't really know why, don't ask, I can't tell you. I may also be wrong and it may also be 7 and I'm just graded. So, reputation is gained multiple different ways, and you can do that through buying from the vendors. You can use the crafting tab and craft all of your... You can also craft things. You'll get some reputation from upgrading things as well. And then there's specific items in the game called favor items. And if you sell those to the appropriate vendor, you're going to get a little bit of gold, but also increased reputation when you sell them to the vendor. There's also a way through the lodge, as we've discussed. If you go to the ossuary, I'll never pronounce that correctly, you can use that and gain increased reputation for the week by putting your offerings into that. Just a tip for if you decide that you want to hard focus upgrading the reputation for one of your vendors. Say, let's talk about the weaponsmith. The weaponsmith requires you to use wood to craft some of the weapons. You can honestly just go in, if you want to hard focus his reputation, you can go into the day map in junk gear so that you have nothing to lose and just farm trees, and then come back and use as many trees as you can to build as many planks as you can, and there you go, you're crafting, you're gaining reputation, and you're also filling up your storage with stuff that you might need for some future things. Things like that are how you can streamline your reputation grind process if that's what you choose to focus on. Alright, so for a tier list, in my own opinion, of these guys, I would preferably start with the armorer and the weaponsmith, just because as you get those tier levels higher, you're going to be able to craft more of your armor and your weapons that you're going to need. After that, I'd look at the treasurer, just so that you can start bartering for stuff better. You'll get keys and you'll get better stuff with that. And then after that, I'd look at the alchemist and the tailor. The tailor could go a little bit higher. The tailor could go a little higher just because of the soul pouches. And then after that, I'd look at the enchantress and then the tavern maid.